The normal athlete. What I'm talking about here is mostly we're talking about the youth level. These are the kids who they're normal athletes. We all like to see the little freak athletes. You know, you see them on the youth football field in the sixth grade, and they run for 1,000 yards, and the team wins the city title. And the little wrestler who who can do cartwheels on the mat during a wrestling match, and super athletic. And generally, the coaches tend to ooh and ah over these few kids in the wrestling practice. I'm not saying we don't have a few of those, but for the most part, those dads and moms don't join Purler wrestling. They don't feel like they need it, and at that time they certainly don't. If their son's winning, then good for them. I'm happy for them. But what you're going to find about in wrestling is this: a tremendous athlete, a God-given gifted athlete on the basketball court or on the football field or soccer field, you can't grab him, hold him, and touch him. Whereas in wrestling, I can steal your athleticism in the blink of an eye, just with wrestling tactics. Through riding techniques, I can take all of your athleticism away from you. That's the beautiful thing about wrestling. Now, does it take 2 or 3 years of drill time? Certainly. The freak athlete has a huge advantage, and it takes time to learn these skills. Just as it takes time to learn a level 8 or 9 gymnastics routine, it takes time to learn wrestling at the high enough level to be able to beat those kids easily. But what you're going to find is in wrestling, just the maturity phase of wrestling levels the playing field quickly. I tell my gifted athletes, I have a few of them, people are going to catch you, and it's not because you're not working hard or you're doing anything wrong. It's just part of it. I mean, thank goodness that your wrestling, your college scholarship opportunities don't hinge upon how good you did as a wrestler when you were 6 or 7. It doesn't work that way. When the testosterone hits and these kids hit that maturity phase, the playing field levels very quickly, and it's not all physical. They, when a boy turns into a man, their head stands taller, their chest sticks out. They're less timid. All of these things come into play. But generally, what you're going to see is that the most skilled kid is the one who's able to compete. And I'm talking about high level wrestling here. I'm not talking about being, a district champion or something. And that's a nice lofty goal. But our approach is getting kids ready for big time college wrestling, and the skills that need to be in place. You can't make up that ground. And we've had a lot of average athletes who, once they hit freshman and sophomore years, they leave those gifted kids, the ones who won everything as a youth wrestler, they leave them in the dust because finally, when maturity hits, and finally 2 or 3 years goes by, maybe longer, and they have all this year-round drill time and skill time, everything sort of comes to a head. So what if your son's an average athlete or even a below average athlete? He needs Purler wrestling more than anybody, in my opinion. And I want you to keep a long-term approach, because things are going to change very quickly. They don't always change in basketball or football or track or soccer, but the beautiful part of wrestling is it will change, because we're in a sport where you don't have to be a freak athlete to have success, but you do have to have the skills and know-how, and that's not easy to attain, and it's not something you can learn in a weekend clinic. So keep these things in mind for all of you parents out there who wonder if your son can be a great wrestler because maybe he's not winning all this stuff as a youth wrestler. We've had a couple of Division I All-Americans that never won a youth state title, but they're a Division I All-American now, which is very, very difficult to do because they had the skills in place and they had the positive parenting and were in a great training environment.